Welcome to Monday Night Live, the weekly training that guides professionals to financial prosperity. Join our community and let's start building your wealth.
All right, can everybody see that? Impressive building systems and built-wise.
Yes.
That's
all right, great.
Too.
So I appreciate Gary. Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'll give a very brief introduction to myself because it's not really about me. It's more about the industry in general. But name is Darin Zaruba. I'm a 20-plus year veteran in the housing, construction, and in particular the modular industry. Was in a venture capital firm where we started doing mobile homes back in the day, where I always say we were fixing and flipping meth labs. And that really kind of got me into the whole modular side of things and looking into some of the developments that we were doing and looking at modular as an option. So 20 years into this, I've done everything from mobile homes to tiny houses. If you guys Google me, I'm all over the tiny house world, and that was really more of a marketing play. But really what I've been focused on, especially the last 10 years, is the modular industry. And as Gary said, I always like to say too, this ain't your granddad's mobile home anymore. It's not that industry, and we're going to go through some of the differences here. I've got a I'm going to make this super quick. We'll go through, I think I could probably do this in about 20, 25 minutes. It gives kind of an overview of everything about the factory, what we do, and then goes into the industry in general and specifically about models and things like that. So if you guys have questions, just keep writing them down. I'll probably get to a lot of them as going through this presentation. This is a Modular 101 that I do all over the country. Modified it a little bit for you guys as a group of realtors, but yeah, I've been in the industry for over 20 years, which led me to starting a couple factories. I'm on my third iteration of that, and we are based out of South Carolina. The company name is Impressa Building Systems, and you see two logos up there because we are actually in 30 days we are changing our name from Impressa to Builtwise Structures. There's some reasons behind that, but Impressa is a big name. That's Impressa Houses, Impressa Modular. There's a lot of Impressa stuff out there with one of our founders, but our factory is basically wholly focused on wholesale production of modular units. So we're going through a branding change to Builtwise Structure. Okay. So whenever I start this, especially talking to builders and developers, I always ask people to think about and then maybe raise your hands about where are you in your modular journey and knowledge. And number one is just kind of, hey, I'm looking into this. I've heard about it, maybe read something about it in Dwell Magazine or at CNN or something. And then five, the guys that we really like to talk to are the ones that are builders, developers, that say, hey, we're ready to go. We're ready to place orders. We've got two designs that we want to turn into modular, and we get it. We've got the people on the ground. We've got the cranes. We are ready to go. So I would just ask everybody internally, just kind of among yourselves, where are you at? Where do you think you're at in your modular journey? And the first question that always comes to bear in that, Gary, I may bug you every now and then. Just make sure you're seeing that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. There you go. Yep.
Great. So what do you think of? What does everybody individually think of when you hear the term modular? Think about that for a few minutes, and maybe if you can take yourself off mute and throw some terms out there, throw some ideas. What is it? What comes to mind when you hear that term, modular?
Prefab.
Okay. Prefab.
Faster time between breaking ground and completed project.
Okay, so faster time, efficiencies.
Built at a factory.
Built in a factory, that's super simple.
Green.
Green, okay. These are all great. These are all good ones. What about some of the bad ones?
Cheap, low quality.
Okay.
Doesn't, good Lord, what is the word I want? The price doesn't go up as well. What is the word I want? I can't believe it.
Appreciate.
Thank you.
Yep.
Homeowners do not appreciate. Yeah.
Permits.
Lower appreciation, valuation, all of the concerns about valuation, all of those things for sure. Anything else?
Permits.
Lower
Permits.
profile roof.
Lower roof, okay. Permits, permit challenges maybe, right? Okay. All right. So this is we hear a lot of things in this industry, and that's one of the first things that I always want to clear up. What does it mean, modular? There are so many terms out there in what we kind of consider the off-site construction industry. You're going to hear terms all over the place, from prefab to modular to manufactured to panelized to mobile homes, trailers, on and on and on. And I kind of call that the menudo stew of adjectives in this industry. And modular does not mean mobile home trailers. It does not mean low pitch roof. It does not mean park model and RV coated tiny houses. It doesn't mean any of that stuff. When we, unfortunately, this industry, when we say the term modular, just like you guys did, everywhere I do this around the country, everybody has preconceived notions of what modular means and is. So if I leave you with nothing else today, if you can understand that modular is a method of construction, it's not a style or a type. It is literally just a method of construction, just like stick built, site built. It is, and when we're talking true modular, it is a method of construction. So what do you think of when you hear the term modular? Some people think of this, right? Some people think of a step up or two steps up, which you guys mentioned: manufactured homes, low pitch roof, permit issues. This is not modular. Okay, these are manufactured homes. Both of these are actually, this is pre-HUD manufactured home on a trailer. This is post-HUD. So this is about a 1989, 1995, somewhere around there, double wide, but it is a HUD code manufactured house. That is not what we're talking about today, but I wanted to show you guys the difference. This is on permanent rails. It's on removable axles, tires, and tongue that get transported and then set mostly in mobile home parks or on land, but this is not modular. This is modular. That is modular. This is modular. Everything that you're seeing here, modular is a method of construction. It is not a style and type. True modular is finishing boxes as components of a much bigger structure, and you're finishing them in a factory and delivering them to a location. So we are just like site built. We just build it off site and deliver it to site. One of my partners always says everything is off site constructed. We just bring the stuff to the building site in much, much bigger pieces, right? So the off-site industry is a whole bunch of different things. The off-site can be trusses, because most people don't build trusses out in the field, right? Some people have gotten into panelized things. But modular, true modular, and I'll go back up to this one. True modular, if you look at the lower right one, that's an apartment complex. True modular is as finished of a box as a piece of a component of either multifamily, single family detached, or whatever, that is shipped and either dropped, craned, or whatever on site. It is just a much bigger component. Okay. So I always say we are evolutionary. We are not revolutionary. Built-wise and Impressa Building Systems, we are the evolution of the modular method. Again, modular is a method of construction, not a style or type. Our factory is a private label factory. So what that means is we don't have a big catalog of a bunch of stuff like a mobile home manufacturer where we have 20 different models and you can pick whatever color you want as long as it's white or beige. We are actually a private label factory. So we work directly with builders and developers, okay, on their models for placement into their developments. So keep that in mind. When we started this, the executive team for our company, we've got over 130 years of combined experience. Every single one of us moved from the site-built industry to modular and to offsite for very good reasons. So we've got down at the bottom, Ken Semler was one of the founders of this factory and this company. He was my partner. And Ken is known in the modular industry, is a very well-known guy, helped start the Offsite Builder magazine and a whole bunch of stuff. But you've got a lot of, just in talking to me and some of the other executives at our factory, we've got over 130 years experience specifically in modular and more than that in construction and development. So we know the difference between the two. Our factories are private label, they are wholesale. So we are actually, it's kind of like we are a consolidated subcontractor for a builder or developer. So we sell stuff at wholesale, that builder developer puts it on their piece of ground, finishes it up, meaning they do the set and stitch and do whatever finish work and changes that they need to do on it, adding a porch if they will, whatever, but we are selling it to them at wholesale. And then they mark it up to whatever the retail is, okay? So just a quick word on that. Everybody asks, and I heard this mentioned, price, appreciation, all of that. The price, this is not a mobile home game. We do not ever sell off of price. So if a builder developer is coming to us and thinking that they're going to save 30% off of their costs, sticks and bricks cost what they are, labor costs what it is. We're a little bit less on labor, but we actually have to ship it to a location. But at the end of the day, we are just a consolidated subcontractor selling it wholesale to a builder developer. We call all of that volumetric housing production, and we work with a limited number of builders and developers on their ongoing projects. So we have some sweet spots in our factory, but that's kind of our business model. We work direct with builders and developers, not end users. How we work with you guys and realtors, I threw this slide in there because this is always a challenge, because every time I do this, we are not a mobile home manufacturer. We are not a dealer. We are a private label manufacturer. So we work directly with builders and developers, and realtors would work with those builders and developers to sell their homes. So we don't work with end user clients. Mostly what we do with realtor groups or in talks around the country is more around education, advocacy, and or referrals to builder and developer, potential builder and developer clients. All right. Our factory really has a focus on single family detached and smaller multifamily projects within a day's radius. This I highlighted down there. Just everybody looks at modular as hey, this is a solution for all the housing woes out there. It takes a lot to build houses, and even under a roof. We have a 200,000 plus square foot facility, and it usually holds that about that square foot facility will be able to produce 20 modules or boxes a week. Sounds like a lot. That's 1,000 boxes a year. But if you're only doing 2.5 boxes per house, that's 400 houses. That's it. We don't have the ability to just turn a switch and produce millions and millions and millions of houses. We are much more efficient. Factories are more efficient, but there are still some constraints there. So that's a number that the modular industry doesn't really, a lot of times factories don't want you to know that. And I'm pretty open about that. We have constraints. And in fact, what did I do? We have constraints. And that's one of the reasons why we work directly with builders and developers in a region. Because if I have, let's say, 5 clients, each wanting 200 modules or 100 houses each in a year, that's our total production for the year. All right. The construction.
Just a quick question. You were talking about the multifamilies. Based on that model, and the number that you put out per year, what would a typical smaller multifamily building like? What size could you produce? Like, how many doors would that be?
Yeah, great question. And we do have a sweet spot in our production, there are specific multifamily factories out there, and that's all they do. The problem with that in this industry is that it's typically feast or famine. Because if I can only produce, if you look at it from our standpoint, if I can only produce 1,000 boxes per year, and we've got a 500 unit apartment complex, that locks us up for the entire year, right? Mm-hmm. So our particular factory, we like to work off of smaller projects, like 30 to 50 doors of single to double box unit. And we fill those in between our other clients. But our factory will not take on a huge we turn them down all the time. We don't take on huge multifamily projects. We'd love to do it, but it locks us up, and then it's feast or famine, because after we've done that, then we're scrambling to get our customers back. So the industry in general kind of splits off into two. So there are multifamily and commercial manufacturers and factories, and there are single family and townhome. In fact, we're a little bit in between, but we are definitely much more on the single family detached and townhome side. Okay.
Darren, what about I'm sorry. What about a single family home development? Would you do a 20 home development, or is that too small?
No, that's actually a 20 home development, assuming that it's 2 to 3 boxes per. That's 60 houses. And if a builder came in and said, hey, I want to do this over 6 months, that's 10 houses a month. That's actually perfect. That is our sweet spot. If I had, on the contrast, I ask on the 1 to 5, right? If I have somebody, we have this all the time too. We have a builder or somebody that wants to be a builder, wants to get in a modular, they don't know what they're doing, and they're a 1, but they only want to do 1 unit. That's not us either. So what you just described right there, a 10, 20, 30, 40 housing unit within 3 months to 12 months, that is bread and butter. That's perfect for us. Smaller projects that are like that, if somebody came and said, look, I need 40 townhomes and I need them as fast as possible, and those townhomes are 2 boxes per townhome, great. We'll grab that. We'll fit that into the queue, get it in and out as fast as possible. So that's kind of our...
That sounds great.
Can you tell me what a box, what you mean by box? What does that mean?
Great question. In fact, why don't I, forgive me here while I'm pulling up a video, but this is, I will pull up a video that shows you guys actually the construction of one of our clients. It's an Impressa modular. It's an Impressa modular house. This is kind of a complex house, but you will see a bunch of boxes coming in there. I'm going to show you 2 videos. This is a great time to do it. If I do this right and I don't screw it. Okay, there we go. And hopefully I did this right, that you guys can actually hear the music as well. Those are boxes. Those are the modules.
Hey, Darren, what we're seeing is you got the U.S. construction copy of the text in a block, and to the left there's part of a view of a home being built. So
okay, hang on just a second. Then I didn't switch my screen. Thank you for saying that. Hold on.
No worries. Yep. Hey, Gina, while Darren's doing this,
yes,
I think an introduction to Ron Williams at Hoodle would be a really good idea.
All right. So
he knows all the builders, and we have like Naor on the team. It's got a development an hour outside of Dallas on a lake. He's just getting it rezoned right now to like 12 or 13 acres, and he's got the pre-approval for smaller lots there. So that could easily be 20 homes when it's all said and done, or more.
Yeah,
that's great.
I've got a question into Naor to get his phone number so we can connect.
Okay.
Do you want the intro now, or Darren, you ready to go? I don't care. It's up to you guys.
No, I think I'm ready to go. Can you guys see a foundation looking thing there?
Yep.
Okay. All right. If you can still hear me, those are the boxes coming in. That's a hinged roof system, so the roof comes flat and then gets hinged and then fixed on site. Finish work, outside garage box, the knee walls come in, the end gables come in, the end caps. As you can see, they're just much bigger components.
Now, how many boxes is that?
This particular one is not counting the garage. This is a 6-box house.
Okay, because it looks like a boxes. So these aren't just regular 2-box houses. These are multi-boxes.
They can be multi-box. Again, modular is a method of construction. It's not a single style or type. But what I will.
But you did mention that you could do like 20 homes that were 2-box homes. Did you not?
Yeah, and so in our factory, we go by stations. So it's like a station, like a car being built. So we always talk from the factory perspective, we always talk in terms of modules. So this particular house was a 6-module home. So if we can do 20 modules per week, we could actually build in our factory, basically 3 of these homes in our factory and get ready to ship out the door.
Okay, so within like a 6-month period of time, could you still do 20 of these?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you do duplexes?
Mm-hmm. Yep. With duplexes, townhomes, 2-story. Typically with wood construction, we can go up to 4-story on multifamily, things like that. So yeah, the design really, what we can build, if you just think of these things as Legos with livable space on the inside, there's all different sizes of Legos, right? And it really starts with the design component to it to make it efficient to be going in a factory and out the door. That was kind of a complex house. This next one that I'm going to show you is a 2-box house that gets a roof pitched up that goes into a gable roof. So you're going to actually see a very simple 2-box design now. Okay. Can you guys see that? It says Impressive Modular.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do.
No, we can't see it. What's the minimum square feet?
There are no minimum square feet.
Question is, what's the minimum per box size? That's to be delivered.
Can you see that being craned on? Just making sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The constraint in our factory is about the size of the box you see being craned on. It's 16 by 58, and then going down the road, 14.5 foot high. That out of our factory, that's the largest that we can do. There are other factories that can go up to 18 feet by 70 feet. That's a huge box, and a lot of those are mobile home manufacturers. But this is a very simple 2-box design. The roof gets pitched up, knee walls go down, there's stairs that go up the middle into a little livable space up top. But this is about as simple as a modular home can be. And this development here is about 40 units in Black Mountain, North Carolina. One of our customers.
That's about 1,800 square feet.
Mm-hmm. Yep, right, exactly. Right out about 18 down, and then call it 500 up once they finish off the upper room.
Now, Darin, if we are the realtors are basically pitching this to a developer or a builder, which is kind of where we come in. The advantage, because obviously the shipping is going to be a pretty good cost, I would think, especially to certain parts of the country. The wholesale cost, I mean, are they going to, is there going to be much of a savings over just having a stick-built home? Like, what is the advantage for them?
Okay. So we never sell off price. The factories are regional, so you wouldn't want to be shipping this to Oregon. We typically are going to be working in a 4-state region: North, South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia-ish, maybe Florida. Yeah. But and yes, transport does factor into that. And in a normalized market, even after you consider transport, crane, all of that stuff, you should be at or just a little bit below traditional stick-built, site-built. The advantages are multiple, okay? And there we go. I'll skip ahead.
What's the advantage? What's the advantage you say is remarkable?
Hang on just a second. Sorry, switching back. I only have one screen. Okay, I skipped a little bit ahead. So the modular advantages, number one is anything that's built in a factory is glued, screwed, and trued. We have very high tolerances. It goes down just like you're building a car. It is much, much better quality in general. Factories vary, but in general, modular is much more consistent and much higher quality. And that's where kind of, the old school thinking of, it doesn't praise well, it doesn't whatever. Modular is actually better built.
That's what I've heard.
Say again?
I just said that's what I've heard, is that they were much better built. It's just from a cost perspective or time perspective, those are the two things that a lot of people would be measuring.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So assume that the price is the same. You're getting a better quality. You're getting it much more consistent. The inspections are done. This is a big key. The inspections are done in the factory, right? So we are regulated by a third party. We build to the residential code according to wherever it's going. So although we are off-site built, we are site-specific, coded, and engineered. And when we do that, they are inspected in the factory by a third-party inspector. So that is a huge advantage. So the quality, the methods, and everything, but then the inspections are done already pre-stamped by a third-party inspector before they get on site. So it makes it...
Go ahead, sir. What's the warranty?
Warranties on the units themselves, we hold a 12-month warranty on the sticks and bricks and the quality construction. But there, like you guys know, there's 210 home warranty. There's other ones that can extend that warranty. All of the appliances and everything that are in there hold the warranty of the actual appliances and stuff. So Modular will typically give an as good or a better warranty than site-built stuff.
So you said that you work in a specific region, but that is like, I am in Oregon. You said you wouldn't want to ship to Oregon. So is there like another like regional place that would, like, if I were to have a builder interested, that would go through?
Yes, there are. And I'm kind of going all over the place. I'm going back a little bit. U.S. construction, it's a $1.5 trillion industry. There are 5 to 7 million housing units needed now, a desperate need for the missing middle. And all of this pushes people to modular. Modular is only 3% of the production across the U.S. If you are in Oregon, and if anybody is out there that's looking for a factory that they can refer to builders, Idaho has like 5 different factories. So Idaho ships into Oregon and Washington. If you're in California factories are a little bit specific. So we are not, I'm kind of, if you're outside of the North and South Carolina area, I'm kind of advocating for the industry in general. Yes, there are modular factories across the country. There are not enough modular factories across the country. But every one of them will focus on something in particular, like residential code, commercial code. Like I was saying, there may be a factory. I know 2 factories out of Idaho that's all they focus on is multifamily projects. So if you are in need of or interested in pursuing it, you can buzz me, Gary. You can look up Modular Housing Association groups within your state, and they can come up with lists of the manufacturer. The factories all deal with things just a little bit differently. Some of them go direct to consumers. Most of them do not. Most of them work on projects and builders and developers. So you go to the factory to find out who their builders are, or if there's a project that you want to refer to somebody, then you could refer them to a factory that would work with that developer. Does that make sense?
Okay. And yes, that makes sense. And so us as realtors or other, and I say or other because like I'm a realtor and I am a general contractor. If we refer a builder to you guys, is there any kind of like referral fee or finder's fee that you offer for that?
There, in us in particular, yes. I can only speak to us. I know a lot of factories do referral fees. I'd say about half the factories right now are already booked. So they're not, I mean, nobody's really looking for new business in a lot of factories because they've already got their clients. They're booked out 2-3 years ahead. We have production capacity, so we do have a referral fee program, and it really depends on volume and length, but it's anywhere between 1.5% to 4% of the gross.
But you're only located on the East Coast, yeah?
We only have, right now, this brand, I only have one factory, but we have a national expansion plan, but it's going to be, it's not going to be tomorrow that I can get you a referral fee. But in fact, I don't have the map. Our plan is to have 10 factories within 5 to 10 factories within 5 to 10 years. So we're looking all over the place. Our next one is probably going to be in Texas. We've got some land identified. We're already crunching numbers on building a greenfield factory from ground up. So long term, but back away from me and my particular factory. And if you look at this, and if you look at the industry as a whole, if you guys now know about this and understand modular, keep your eye on it. We are 3% of the industry right now. Modular is already growing leaps and bounds just in the last 5-10 years, but especially after COVID, there are multiple announcements of people coming in from overseas wanting to order or build 3 or 4 factories. So if you really look at this industry as still a young industry, if you guys as realtors keep your eye on this and know about it more and more and become experts in it, you're going to be ahead of the ball game, because this is you'll be ahead.
Is it stock in the market? You have the stock market? It's in the stock market.
Say that again.
Are you on the stock market?
Oh, we are not. No, we are BuiltWise is a private company. There are ones out there, VBS, Volumetric Building Systems. There's other factories that are the big ones out there. Clayton, Warren Buffett. Obviously, they're big, but they're more mobile home builders. They do modular as well. But there are factories out there that are on the stock market. We are not yet, and I'm not going to do that until we've got about 4 factories on.
Darin,
you had mentioned 2 boxes. That 2 boxes were equivalent to 1,800 square feet, right? Did you?
Out of our factory. The biggest boxes that we can do, 2 of them side by side, 16 by 58, is roughly 1,900 square feet. Yes.
And you can split that in half, right?
I can build whatever you want.
Okay. That's good.
Yes. Remember, guys, this isn't like where you have 20 plans to choose from. I mean, they're able to customize. So you generally, let's say like you're Nayor and you've got a development site with 20 lots. Individual buyers will come in, but you generally would have one developer, maybe 2 builders, typically 1 builder. That builder would contract with Darin and his group. okay, to provide the homes. But the plans the builder would have, or the consumer could possibly come to the builder with the plans. And I'm sure there's some limitations and things like that, but that's really the flow. So really, as far as your involvement here is, think development, think a little bigger picture. So we're realtors. We can identify land that can and should be purchased and zoned. This is exactly what Nayor has just done, right? He got a property rezoned, got it actually now rezoned twice. So he can attract the buyers. Okay, and then you got Ron Williams with Hoodle, who provides a site that you guys can use to attract the consumers that want to build. And if you got a piece of land, or even a developer who wants to develop a piece of land, you can make those connections and get commissions. Remember you're a realtor, so if you bring together, what do you do as a broker? You bring together a buyer and seller, right? So Darin is the product provider. He's not selling the land. He's technically selling components of a house, modules of a house that the builder's going to actually put together and assemble on site for the consumer. What Darin needs is not just a one-off kind of thing, a house here and a house there. It's like, if you have a development or a piece of land that can be subdivided, I mean, I'm telling you, this is where the business is right now. The need is 5, 6, 7 million homes, and we still got a lot of land, but somebody's got to take the effort, like Nayor did, and make that land, zoned properly and get all that stuff done. That's what he's done, and now he can attract the buyers. And I think if you can and with Ron Hoodle's program, he knows all the builders. He matches the buyers with the builders. The builders are the key. One of the keys here is the builder. You get the builder who can learn this, or already knows how to do this, and you connect them with Darin, you're going to have yourself, could be 20 homes that you're in commissions on.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the key, is having the relationship with the builder, because we provide the houses, the components to a builder. So if you are instrumental in helping a builder move over to the modular method, and then you get the commissions on the houses, you've referred them over to us. I mean, this has happened before. We've got a 50-unit development that a realtor was instrumental in putting together the relationship. And not only did they get a referral fee from us as we build the house, then they get all of the lifting of all of the homes in that subdivision because they had the relationship with the builder. So this one that I'm pulling up right here, because you guys were asking, can you split them? It all starts with design. This design is a 2-story townhome, basically, if you will. But this is going into Austin. This is a very high-end home, and these things are going to be selling for $800,000. 2 boxes, 1,600 square feet, big open living space, stairs that go up into a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom, 2-bath configuration. This right here, that's kind of the elevation of them. And that's one design that we did for a builder in Austin. And we did this, we worked this up. This is for small infill lots in and around Austin that take very narrow houses. Okay. And let me give you another one. If I come to the front page of BuiltWise, if you can see that right there, kind of faded behind industry's highest quality. Can you see that, Gary?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So this is a 2-box house, but then it's got 2 boxes attaching another 2 boxes plus a garage. So all of this stuff is going into Austin right now, and they're kind of fun with their design. But sky's the limit on design. Modular is a method of construction. It's not a style or type. It always starts with the design of it. You're not limited to 2 boxes. You're not limited to 1 story. Can you do 1 box, half size? Yes. I'm kind of the tiny house specialist, and I love houses between 400 and 800 square feet. I've got a whole line of them.
Love it. Hey, Darin, one question, and then I want to toss Andre. Andre's got his hand up. Oh my God, I have not had nearly enough coffee today. Oh yeah. For your factories and the places that you're looking, your 5 to 10 within 5 to 10 years, how much land do you need for those? each one?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
I know. That's why.
We really do have a sweet spot of what we are looking for factories. So it's not just the land. We've got places that want to give us land. The land is the cheapest thing typically because we go into semi-rural areas. Mm-hmm. We want to be able to draw labor. I cannot build a factory right outside of Seattle or Denver or Austin. We have to go into kind of semi-rural areas that draw labor from a bunch of different counties. We have about 150 to 200 employees that we need on a consistent basis. And that's one of the ways that we can be more efficient and cheaper is because we pay less for that labor. So that being said, if you find me a piece of land that is in a semi-rural area where the town wants to give tax incentives and free land and breaks and things like that, that's what we're dealing with right now. I've got people, I don't know.
Try Lubbock, Texas.
That's actually where we're looking for factory number 2. So I don't know where. I don't know whether you have some insight or information, but we
I have. That would help. They will really appreciate you there and accommodate you. I know
that's Lubbock and Waco, Winslow, Arizona, but literally Lubbock, Texas is the town that is about 75-80% sure of that's going to be our next factory. We've already been working with the town. That's ironic that you say that because we've already been working with the town.
5 hours drive to Dallas so we can enjoy some of your homes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why if we open, because transport is an issue, right? We do have all of those ones that are going to Austin. The reason why he's paying for all of that shipping is because they're 800,000 to 1.5 million houses. So he can absorb the shipping into that. That's not the most efficient way. And he's actually one of our clients is our partner in the next factory. So he's looking to open that up so that he can, save costs on shipping. If I had 10 factories across the nation, I could service the whole nation a lot better.
Darren, I think you should think about Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Great question too. Pennsylvania, that whole area is inundated with modular factories. That's actually one of the birthplaces of modular, believe it or not. Indiana and Pennsylvania have the most modular factories around. You may not have heard about them until now, but now that you start, and once you get off this call, if you start and you go Google Pennsylvania modular factories, you're going to have about 15 of them come up. The issue is then
they do sell them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Whether those factories work directly with a client or whether they work with builders and developers like Excel that is owned by Champion, there are a lot of factories in and around Pennsylvania for sure.
Have you ever, I have 35 acres on the reservation. You ever built in the reservation as long as you get the okay from the tribe?
You guys are asking great questions. These are all loaded questions too.
Oh, okay.
We have built houses for the Indian Nation, multiple of them. That is a tough environment. I'll just be honest with you. It's tough because investors that want to put money into a building that's on sovereign land that they don't control, that's tough.
Yeah, but what if all the homeowners agree? I think there's only 6 now, but there's 300 acres.
Where are we talking? Can you say?
South Dakota.
In South Dakota. Okay, so my first factory was in Hot Springs, South Dakota.
Oh, okay, right. That's close to us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we actually worked with Indian Nation labor. That was one of my first forays into doing a partnership or looking at it, and it's just, and I've done it multiple times since then. I've looked at it. I've had meetings with the tribes and everything. It just always comes down to control. Unfortunately, it comes down to control, outside investors, and Indian Nation is sovereign land. And at the end of the day, if something happens, we got no control over it. So I would much rather sell houses into an Indian Nation rather than actually have a factory on there. I'd have it on the border for sure and provide labor and homes. That's the ideal.
I was just thinking about building some houses on my land.
Oh yeah, that's not a problem.
No problem then?
No, building houses for your land, if that's what you're talking about, no problem. There are factories that can do that. In fact, we probably wouldn't ship all the way to South Dakota, but I've got a couple factories that could work with you on that. But building a factory in Indian Nation, that's what I thought you were talking about.
No. I'm building little houses.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we've built in my career, we have built dozens and dozens of houses for the Indian Nation. Yes.
Okay.
Andre, I think you're up next.
Yeah, I wanted to ask if can you put those on slabs and crawl spaces or full basements or whatever the homeowner wants?
Yes. Great. Another great question. So a modular structure has a flooring system to it. So to put a flooring system on a slab is redundant. So most modular construction is done on either a crawl space, piers, stem walls, whatever. But doing modular on a slab is redundant and not needed. The only reason, crawl spaces, full basements, all of that, yes, absolutely. But yeah, not typically on a slab, because then that just takes away the efficiencies. We've actually done some in the past where people are like, no, I got to have it on a slab because that's what the region requires. So then we build them a box without a floor and then deliver it, drop it on a slab, which guess what? Then they have to finish out everything else. They have to finish out the counters. So you're taking advantages away from being modular, being true modular. And the industry just doesn't do that much.
Did you know that you can participate in class every Monday? We call it Monday Night Live, 7 p.m. Eastern, with me and dozens of other investor agents from around the country, in fact, the world. Every Monday, totally free. No selling, no recruiting, just straight up education on anything and everything in real estate. And we have a lot of good guests coming on once or twice a month, bringing in expertise on subjects like how to buy a house with crypto, okay? How about them apples? What about AI? How's AI affecting our business? How about the metaverse, blockchain processing? We're already using it in title work. So come on to Monday Night Live. Be ready to take notes and ask questions because it's live and engaging, and you get to participate by asking questions and meeting others. So we'll see you there. Go to realestateWithGaryWilson.com. Click on the resource tab, drop down, and you'll see Monday Night Live. And in there, you can see one of the most recent classes. But more importantly, you can register for class as many as you want going up to like the end of the year, I believe. So in any case, do that. We'll see you on Monday Night Live. Look forward to meeting you in person. Take care.
How many do you have a certain amount of floor plans that you have, or it's tons of floor plans?
It all starts with the design. We've got, if you were a builder, the first thing I would do is say, what kind of houses are you looking for? Are they townhomes? Are they single family detached? Are they 3-bed, 2-bath, whatever? And then we can narrow them down. Yes, we have a catalog of a bunch of floor plans that are modular friendly, whether we have built them or not yet. Because we are off-site built, but site-specific coded, even if I had a plan set in that I've done before, let's say for South Carolina, and somebody comes in and says, well, I want to do that one for Georgia, we may have to pay for engineering and stuff again for a new region, or especially going to a place like Florida, right? So we may have to pay for engineering and everything again. Sometimes it's just easier just to take somebody else's plans and modularize them. But yes, we do have a catalog of a bunch of plans.
Okay. And just a couple more questions. Is it per, it's dependent on supply and demand and or the general square footage, depending on the area? Is it all over the place? Depending on what?
Well, yes, price fluctuates with commodities, as every building does, right? But we are a wholesale supplier. So if I'm selling a 3-bed, 2-bath to Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm selling that same 3-bed, 2-bath to Austin, Texas, in a downtown area, the end retail may be double in Austin, okay? my cost that I'm selling those components to a builder in Atlanta and the builder in Austin is exactly the same. So the builder in Austin gets an advantage of having a higher margin. Our prices are fixed. We are a wholesale. Once we quote somebody on a particular model, it just depends on the price of lumber and the price of labor and the price of the spec. And we're not, moving our price up and down depending on the region. We're a wholesale supplier.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Naor, I think you're up next.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, Darin.
Hi.
A couple questions. I've a lot of experience actually with modular homes and the assemblance. It's not building; it's actually assembled in the site. This is not a job for every local builder. I mean, you need experience to do that. So I don't know if you're probably sending some kind of crew or engineer to help with that. Second question is regarding the 95%, cubes coming ready, but you have the plumbing and electricity, and sheetrock may crack along the way, and you probably can't deliver slab or marbles or ceramic. They might crack also in the showers. So there's still pretty much a lot of work on site. And the third question is price. I mean, we haven't talked about it yet, but probably my experience, it's cheaper to build it, with builders on ground. So I'm just maybe what's the reason, or what's the, I would say, for using modular, except time, of course.
What are the benefits?
What are the benefits? Because I know it's more expensive. I tried to go there several times, and it's pricey, much more than the $150, $140 a square feet that we used to build affordable homes here in Texas, for example.
Sure. And where are you at in Texas? So let's start there.
Dallas, Fort Worth area.
Okay. So there are certain places where it doesn't make sense doing modular. And quite frankly, it's in Greenwood, South Carolina. It's a semi-rural area. And we cannot build houses there as cheaply because the labor is the same. So if you're in an area, and Dallas is actually kind of believe it or not, Dallas is a little bit of a depressed labor. They are not charging as much for sheetrock and things like that as in Austin and Denver and other places like that. So there are places where if you're looking and comparing dollars and sticks and bricks to sticks and bricks, sometimes it doesn't make sense. In a normalized market, Charlotte, Austin, Denver, places, rural areas, not as much. But modular really comes of age when we are doing efficiencies, speed, inspections, and where the dollars matter because of those efficiencies. If you're trying to compare one modular house to a site built and you're doing them side by side, it's a little all over the place depending on where you're at in the country. As far as the quality, unfortunately, it sounds like you've had some bad experience with the modular factories. They are not all the same. The ones that come out of ours, we're at the top 10% echelon of quality, and we do not have cracks. We use full ceramic tile installed already there. Our stuff is so strong built that there is that nothing with the slabs are on, the counters, everything is done. We try to, because yes, it doesn't make sense to redo something. So our boxes that are going out of our factory, 95% done, are typically finished 95% done. You're not having to redo everything. So, and then I pulled up the modular advantages here again. If you weren't on when we were kind of covering that, it is all about quality, methods, inspections are done on site, the speed and the schedule, carry cost, efficiencies, waste, all of that stuff comes up to what we call modular math. If you look at a project, start to finish, versus a site-built project in a normalized market, Even in Dallas, I would say that modular is going to be as expensive, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more in Dallas. But if you look at all of the other factors there, that's where modular makes sense.
All right. Karen.
So what would be the price per square feet for structure, and how much more work is done on site compared to expense? Or
okay, I'll answer the second question first.
Right.
How much is done on site depends on the design. If you want a gable roof, if you want a cape roof that needs to be finished out on site, there's only a couple different ways to do it. You have to pitch the roof on site. You have to finish out the upper room on site. So a lot of it comes in design. The two-box design that I showed you that's going to Austin, it's 100% done. Those two boxes come together, they clip, and the only thing that's done on site is the set and stitch. So it plugs into the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing on site. So to answer that question, unfortunately, these are a lot of it depends answers.
Right.
It depends on the design, on how much you have to finish on site. And we work with builders and developers to minimize that if possible and if they want. And as far as your question about what's the price, honestly, that's typically the first question that I get from builders and developers. Well, what's the price? And I've also had a partner that said, in America, we don't sell cars by the pound. And we certainly don't quote modular by the square foot, because are you wanting gold shower heads and travertine tile, or are you wanting plastic sinks? Because we are private label, we build to the level spec that a builder wants. And it will, again, typically be the same price or a little bit better spec to spec than a site-built unit. As an example, though, going out the door, those two boxes that you saw the video of, the Black Mountain units, were at about FOB factory. This is where it gets weird. FOB, if you're not in this industry, FOB factory was like $68 a square foot.
Oh, wow.
That sounds great, right?
Yeah.
But then you have the transport, then you have the cranes, then you have the finish work. So yes, our sticks and bricks are cheaper, but there are added non-value added costs that need to do to finish the unit. So that's why we always say it's modular math. I can't give you a price per square foot that makes you understand it very easily without understanding the start to finish project costs. But in general, it'll be about the same as a site built.
This last question, I'm sure a builder asked you that before. Do you also provide just a frame? And they're asking, we'll do the finish inside, right? Just provide us frame, windows, doors, floor.
Yes,
you offer that as well.
We don't. And there are very few factories that actually will, because then you are taking away the advantages of doing it modular. Because we can buy stuff cheaper, we can build it more efficiently, we finish it off in site, and actually taking stuff off and not finishing it doesn't make it any more efficient for us. And now you're doing it on site and finish it. What we do is some takeoff. So we've had some builders that say, look, we love everything else except we have this special purple veined granite counter that only comes from the
cabinets or something.
Yeah. Whatever. Right. We will do a takeoff on a particular thing or a tile that's from or whatever it is. But modular, if you get away from the advantages of modular, which is ease of production, going down an assembly line, doing things well and station wise and over again. Anytime you're messing that up, which includes just build me a frame, takes away all of the modular advantages.
Thank you, Darin.
No problem. Thank you.
Karen, what you got?
Yeah, Hey, just another couple questions. So just based on the fact that, the modular advantage, of course, is quality. So if you're going to put a house on stilts, for example, like over an ocean, you're basically saying that a modular would be a better home to put in a situation like that, right? Is that correct?
In my opinion, 100%, yes.
Okay. All right. And then, so following that same reasoning, I'm guessing that if it's better to have, or this is better constructed. Sorry, my dog's barking. But anyway, if you have a house in California, for example, and you need a better built house, and you want something that's earthquake proof, are these built for earthquakes as well?
Great. Okay. Great question. I love all of these. This is good. Are they built for earthquakes? Number one, we are off-site built, but site-specific coded and inspected. So if I'm building something, I'm actually in Florida. I'm in Madeira Beach, Florida right now. And if I were to build something for the coast right now, I would have to hit every one of their codes and requirements for wind and all of that stuff. So yes, I have to build to a minimum of the code that is required to place the house on the ground.
Oh, that's right. You said that it was code specific. Okay. What if?
So it is code specific, but if you think modular in general, would you like to have your car built outside of your garage, nuts and bolts and things, all that, or would you like to have your car built in a factory? That same thing applies to modular, because we have to build those things so strong because they do incur hurricane force wind and seismic activity up to a certain level of earthquakes. Why? They drive down the road. They are built much stronger, and there are multiple cases where after a tornado, and I'm not talking mobile homes, but after a tornado or a hurricane or something where there are a bunch of houses that got wiped out, and the only house that survives is the only house that was built modular.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I needed to know. Thank you, because I was going to ask that. That was going to be my next question. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Wayne.
Hello. Hi, Darin.
Howdy.
Hey, so Karen took a couple of my questions, so that's good. I know you said that you're not presently, your company not shipping on to the West Coast of California. Are you looking for land or areas of development in California? My bet is you probably would be looking in Nevada rather than California to build.
I don't. You're in California?
Yeah, I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay. More power to you. California, you guys in the Republic of California and New York and Illinois. Whew, man, you guys
makes it tough.
Really, really tough to do business. I have actually looked at Arizona, Nevada to build a factory to ship into California. But even then, if I were doing that, California requires all these, and no offense, but you guys require all of these crazy codes that nobody else, that don't really, like the building industry looks at. Oh my gosh, why all of these added costs? Why all of these? And it's not, it's just tough.
And the green materials.
It's because of the governor.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to your number, and I mean, even if I added $350 per square foot for FOB transportation, it would still be cheaper than what I could build right now.
Believe me, Winslow, Arizona was a target for mine for about a year, and we couldn't make a deal work because I just couldn't get somebody to build the building, Lona. But yeah, Arizona, Nevada, shipping into California, it's a big market, but California is a tough market. So
yeah, this design fits well with some of the row house townhome designs down here. You know, the 3-level with the garage on the bottom, 3 levels up, boom, 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 set them up on a lot.
For sure.
it's probably going to be a while before you ever do California, or if it's even worth your time.
No, it is for sure. I mean, it's in my, let's say it's in my 5 to 10 year plan. I'd love to be servicing California. It's just, man, it's one of the tougher ones. So,
okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And then Karen asked the question. So I'm licensed in Florida also. So you do build to local building codes. So have you run into any problems with getting any development done, ocean side, Gulf side?
Nope. No, again, we just have to build to the local code. The way a factory works is that once we open up a factory, we have to be approved by the state. They have to come and inspect us. The International Code Council and their third-party inspector, which is NTA, have to come and certify our factory. It's kind of like, think of it kind of like the FDA, okay? Not everybody can just go open up a factory and start doing business. We have to go through a process very similar to the FDA, quality, inspections, all of that stuff. Once that factory is open up, and we're open up in South Carolina, then we have to be approved in the individual states in which we ship into. Every state is a little bit different. Texas is brutal. Florida, meh. Ironically, Florida, fairly easy. But that doesn't mean I can build a simple home in Florida. I get approved in Florida, but I still have to build to that state, or that literally the plat that you're building onto. We have to hit all of those codes.
Got it. Thank you, Darrin.
We're off-site. We are off-site constructed, but we are site-specific coded and inspected.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, Darrin, I have some questions. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so firstly, I want to say you are not alone there. I'm also from North Carolina.
Excellent.
Yeah, and
build some houses then.
Sorry?
I need to build you some houses then.
Yeah, that's what you are doing now. This is a wonderful project, which just reminds me that back into 2015, I worked with some Italian company which built the prefabricated houses, but they were looking for buyers for their factory. So this is a really great factory project. I have several questions. One is, so what is the main materials for this kind of houses you build?
Okay. Yeah, if you got a bunch, I'll fire off the answers. That one's an easy one. We are traditional wood built. We have had some customers come and say they want rolled steel, 2x4s, like the steel commercial 2x4s, but we're traditional stick built. Same materials that you build regular site built stuff.
I see. So from the questions, others asked you and your answers, so I understand the cost, like with the same materials for the same style or the same house, the cost for the modular houses is almost the same with the traditional built houses. Am I correct?
Yes, correct. When you look at an individual house or a project, start to finish, yes, it should be about the same cost.
Okay, so my next question is, then what is the general lifespan, the design and the lifespan for this modular homes?
The lifespan, like literally the lifespan, how long do they last?
Yes.
Okay, they no different than site-built homes. So, and actually, no, that's not true. They're better than site-built homes. They're going to be tighter, so they're going to last longer. But as you guys all know, or should know, as being realtors, real estate depreciates unless you keep it up, right? So just like in a regular house, if you let termites in and you don't paint it and the roof goes bad, yeah, it's going to deteriorate. But on the same, in the same vein, there's houses that were built in the 1800s on the East Coast that are still there. So it's just like they are built better, but it's not like they have a different lifespan, so to say. It just depends on how you take care of the house on the long.
Yeah, so it comes to my next question. So is it easy to maintain? I specifically I mean this. So you showed the blueprint of the design, like everything for each model, like they are built in the factory. So when when these units assembled on site, so how do you deal with like the cables, the wires, also like the pipes for the water pipes, especially for like 2 floors, 3 floors houses. And if there's any leakage, for example, on the 3rd floor, so like the 2nd floor or the 1st floor will be affected. Do we need to like replace the whole unit? Or I think the traditional built house, you can just repair it.
Yeah, it's literally built with the same materials. So if there is an issue down the road, if lightning strikes it, if something happens to it and you have to replace a roof, yeah, it's literally just built like a site-built home.
Oh, okay, that sounds good. So you can just fix the problem. You don't have to replace the whole piece, the whole unit.
Yeah, it's just a modular is a method of construction. We're just sending bigger components to it. You don't have to, but they're all built with sticks and they're all built with screws and nails and everything else. So even on a remodel, let's say if you had a 4-box design and somebody said, oh, I want to move the kitchen and pick this up and knock that wall down. It's the same thing. We've just built the boxes in a factory, delivered them. And yeah, it's just like a site-built home. You can cut into it, change it, repair it, do whatever. It's the same materials.
Okay, so let's see the roof. So when you build the roof, it's going to be one piece. Am I correct about this?
Roof is going to depend on the design. So the ones that I showed on the video actually have a flat roof and then they come up and then finish the roof materials on site. But some of them we design even have a flat roof.
I mean, no matter what kind of roof it is, it's going to be one piece. I mean, for one side, it's going to be one piece. So my question actually is, like now people are using, it's more and more popular for the solar panels. So if they are going to install the solar panels on the roof, they may need to dig some holes there. Will this affect the waterproof performance of the roof or something like that?
No, again, just like a regular house, it's going to be built with sticks. And if you're cutting into the roof, then yeah, you need to make sure that you're treating the roof line, because it's just shingles or it's metal roof, just like any other house. So anything that you do on that you would do with a normal house, you're going to have to do with modular. Once it's on the site, once a modular house is on the site, you're not going to be able to tell the difference.
Right, I know. I mean, yeah, from the appearance, you cannot tell the difference. But for the maintenance, the use, or if there's any problems, yeah. So how we tell our clients about that? Yeah.
Oh, so okay. That's actually a good question. How do you tell your clients about it? Me and anybody that's in this industry, we actually brag about it. Because we're big. We brag about it. We are, this is a modular house. It was built in a factory, just like your car is. It's tighter. It's better built. It withstands hurricanes. We are proud that it is a modular home. Now, the other question comes up is, oh, I'm scared. Do we have to disclose this? This is not a mobile home. This is not a manufactured mobile home that has rails underneath it that is built to a different code. These are houses. It is a method of construction, not a style or type. Modular is just a method, and it meets all the requirements because they are all of the requirements. We are building them to the exact specifications or better that the codes locally and nationally require. So do you have to disclose it? There are some places that don't understand the difference between modular and manufactured that say, oh, you need to disclose if this is modular, like it's a bad thing. Most places do not have to disclose it, but we do, and we brag about it because they're better built. But you do not typically have to disclose that, like you're ashamed of it, like this is a modular home. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think yes, you can. I mean, how many years have the modular homes appeared in Carolina or in America?
Oh gosh, all the way back to 1976.
Oh, so it's kind of like approved, right? So I mean, there are evidences showing that this kind of modular homes they can endure longer than the traditional on-site.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Then I think I can brag it too. Thank you. Oh, those are all my questions. Thank you.
No problem.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What else? You guys have great questions. These are all good. Some stumpers.
I think I remember telling you when we first met, this is an active, engaged group. So, but the cool thing is, guys, is we talked about Nayor, what he's doing. Mike McGran's working on a project. It's in Mexico. It's not a stateside project, but land development. So the opportunities are out there, guys. What I would recommend you do is use our system ReallyFlow to identify the land in your area. Okay, we know there's a need for housing. Most jurisdictions right now are going to be more open to favorable zoning, right? So you have that piece. That's what you do. You're a real estate agent. You got that piece. You've got a product here that allows for homeowners to have a home probably a little bit faster, better quality. Okay, and there's certainty. You know what you're getting. It's just the when it comes on site, they're basically assembling and stitching, right? So you've got a platform called Hoodle from Ron Williams. So those of you who weren't around last year, he spoke to our group, and now his wife has joined underneath Gina. So his platform is great to help you get some new construction business, okay? Which gets you in front of the builders, which is really what you need here. You need the builders, okay? So that's the opportunity. And Darin, one other question I do have is it's interesting. I don't know if this is entered into any of the conferences you go to, but has 3D printing inside the factory, is that ever being discussed, like for future, construction methodology?
Not with us, no, and not in serious conversations around modular. There are two 3D printer companies, and they're both out of Texas. One's called Icon, and they actually use cement to 3D print walls. And that's a whole nother, I could talk an hour about that. I'm not a fan. It's millions of dollars for these machines, and all they're doing is printing walls. It's not modular construction. It's actually it takes a lot of time. It doesn't save any money. You've still got to cut into the walls. It's very limited aesthetics. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Now, I love the innovation and I love all of that. I love that stuff, but the stuff that's happening more on automation in factories is really about CAD design, CNC machining, pre-paneling walls, even in a modular factory where we're doing panel walls that come up rather than these big walls that we build from frames. So it's more on automation for traditional construction than it is on anything, out of the ordinary, like 3D printing right now.
Gotcha. Hey, by the way, we did have a question. One of my favorite people, two of my favorite people, actually, Mike McGran's on, and so was Mark Rickert from New Mexico. I think we answered your question on pricing. It's just it's case by case, and it's good to see you too, brother. And Mike McGran has also been in this arena. But the question he has is, any chance he's asking about lenders financing, and ITIN buyers, Mike, if you're still there. I'm assuming that's an acronym for this product.
The ITN buyer is like the foreign national that's using an ITIN number to file their taxes, and their lending options are just a little bit less available. And I do have a number of customers I've dealt with in the past that have lots, and talking to the builders, they don't want to come out and build one home on one lot. It's not cost efficient to them. So I was thinking this might be an option if I could find somebody that would do financing on a modular home.
Yeah, and I can speak to financing in general. It's just like a site-built home. ITIN numbers, that's always going to be a challenge. So there are actually programs, this is a whole nother subset, so don't mix these up, but mobile homes, mobile home communities, manufactured housing, true mobile homes, they have different programs that can do financing for people, but that's typically in a land lease community. That's not us. But the modular houses in general, modular that are brought to a site, delivered on site, qualify for every normal financing because it is a site-built home.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think, Eric, did you have another question? Looks like your hand's still raised.
Yeah, first a general comment. Darin, awesome to be on here. I love hearing this. I've been researching Impressa for a while now, and I'm in Connecticut. I'm talking to any builder who will listen to me, and I may have some projects lined up, and the numbers kind of fit right into what you're doing. But if I have to suggest a state to you, I suggest the income tax and sales tax free state of New Hampshire.
We have looked in that area, yes. So I'd love to do that. New Hampshire is that was kind of a target. Yes, I have not gone. I'd say that's probably on a list of 10. It's probably down on the 7 or 8, just because we've got other factories that service that area. But yeah, that's a great area.
Okay, we'll talk.
Okay.
And Craig, you got a question? Craig Leverett from by the way, from Greenwood, South Carolina.
Hey, so, Darin, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Craig?
I'm good. So, yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know that Darin gave me a tour of the facility, and the boxes are very well built. I was impressed with the craftsmanship that I saw when I was there touring the facility with him. So, I look forward to getting back with you, Darin. I have my developer that I've been talking with, and he's interested. And he also is thinking about something on a smaller scale, like the tiny homes. And I know you said you're, that's sort of like your baby.
Yeah. In fact, let me. Can you see that now? The Zilker.
Yep.
Okay. So this is, and I can send this out to anybody, but this is actually my. Again, if you Google me, I'm all over the tiny house world. I did it more for marketing, but I've always been into. I'm a bit of a minimalist, and I travel a lot too. And I've always been into what I call one box homes, one and done, that can be built modular. This is my brand called Nimble. This is a whole brand that we're going to be launching initially out of the South Carolina factory. And what it is simply, let me zip through here. It's basically 800 square feet or less. And you pick a floor plan, you pick an exterior style, you pick your exterior color package, you pick your interior color and style, and then boom, it's done. So that's an example of a 2-bed, 1-bath unit. That's called the Zilker. And these are the 4 roof line options: the Ohm Home, the Hipster, the Mountain Mod, or the Urban. So we are building a website behind the scenes for this size house and smaller. So I'm big, and that's a passion of mine. And I talk all around the country about micro housing communities, simple, small, sustainable living. I would say I'm one of the nation's foremost advocates and experts in everything from RV park conversions to tiny house living to these one box designs. So especially if anybody's interested nationwide, that part of what my separate company does is consult on and markets developments in and around tiny houses like this stuff. And I'm happy to send this off too. Anything that you need, Gary, that anybody's interested in, I can put a package together.
Hey, Darin, put your contact info back up there, guys. And you could even put it in the chat box if you want, and we'll have it out on the Beverly, who's our operations manager. So she'll send out an email tomorrow to everybody who even registered for class, and I think there was over 400. So they'll get this recording, they'll get your contact information. But I hope you guys see the big picture here. I'm telling you, I know what it's like out there in the field. Believe me, I was out there doing what you're doing for a lot of years, and making, putting together the buyer, the builder, and the land is not as hard as you think. It happens every single day. And we have a big shortage right now in America. We're not talking, this isn't about affordable housing. That's a different subject, although that's a subset of the overall need, which is housing in general. And your role, that's your role. If you look at the definition of brokerage, it's bring together buyer and seller. The key here is the builder, right? Get them in contact with Darin. So make sure you have Darin's information and look and see what's out there. Don't just have a dream and go to sleep. I mean, write it down, put in your planner, write down tomorrow, look on ReallyFlow and look for land in your area, right? And I promise you, you talk to most municipalities now, they're going to be a little bit more accommodating than they typically would be, because we need housing. They want tax revenue, So, anybody have any questions on that, on the how you can profit from this whole thing?
Can I add in there, because I stepped away for like 2 minutes, and I know you were talking a little bit about Hoodle. I'm going to drop my number in the chat also. If you guys are interested in an easy way and a great platform to get with builders, I'm more than happy to help you and kind of walk you through the process. And we have a webinar tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. So it's an easy one to get you links to also, but I'll drop my phone number in. And you can text me if you want that, or just whatever, if you got questions on it.
And Darin, just to give you an idea, Ron Williams, his program Hoodle, last check, he was in 89 different areas around the country. His program, yeah. So he's a real good guy too,
Yeah, it'd be a good connection. He's think of sort of like Realtor.com or Zillow or Airbnb, but for new construction.
Yeah, interesting. And if you guys can see my info, I put my personal. Z Incorporated is my company. It's a 20-year-old consulting company in and around all of this stuff. So I'm giving you guys my personal email and cell phone number. If anybody wants to text me for information or send it, that's the best way.
Okay.
Perfect.
Excellent. Well, listen, guys, I appreciate you participating and being so engaged. I mean, it's always fulfilling to see you go so engaged and actively involved. I mean, I know, Darin, we appreciate you being here too, and hopefully the group. Hopefully, this was a good session for you.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good questions. I appreciate it, everybody.
Yeah, learned a lot and good stuff too, man. So, okay, everybody, all set, ready to go and spend time with your families. All right. Hey, set up your one-on-ones, guys. And we'll see. Oh, next Monday, no class, July 3rd. We're not going to have a class the night before July 4th. So consider that an off day. And then we'll see you the following Monday. And then that following Wednesday, the second Wednesday of every month, is our team meeting for those who are actually on the team. For guests, that's only the one thing that you can't be part of. You can be part of everything else, class-wise and mastermind-wise, but then that one's kind of a closed group. But I appreciate everybody. You guys take care. Have a good night. God bless you and your families, and we'll see you on the next one.
Hi.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Hello. Hello. Hey, Gary.
Oh, hello.
This is Valerie. I'm Valerie. Yes.
Yeah,
I just
how are
want
you?
you to know because, I'm good because the name here is different. So it's just connected with my email address.
That's okay.
Just tell you. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed it. We do this every Monday, except for, certain days of the year, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, Memorial Day, Labor Day, things like that,
Mm-hmm.
So,
I checked your website and I found this. I'll try to join this. Yes. this kind of mentor is very useful, helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to meet some of the guys tonight too. And I call everybody guys, even though there's girls and guys, but
I understand that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we got some great people all over the country. I mean, literally coast to coast. And it's really nice we have mastermind groups. These are small groups we get together every 2 weeks for specific subjects. Today we did the commercial mastermind, for example. Gina on the team runs a morning session Tuesday through Friday every morning. And I rally the troops and help solve problems. So there's at least 5 different ways to engage. And of course the coaching is one-on-one too. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you got a lot of it. And let me know once you've had a chance to look at the video. And
I didn't have a chance. Yeah, I didn't watch it yet. But if I can join, sorry, Bob, I think you are muted. I saw you were talking, Bob. I think he's talking something. He's waving there, right? But he's muted. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if you can invite me, I mean, if you can send me the link for the group meeting, the other meetings, maybe I'll try to join and to see, have a look.
Do you hear me?
Oh, now we can hear you, Bob. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. My question is not related to today's subject. Actually, is about the branding the business. A couple hours ago, I had a Zoom call with a gentleman. He was trying to offer his business to brand. My wife and I, we become a team. My wife is a homeowner occupied agent for 30 years. I'm a newer agent. I'm trying to target the multi-unit residential income property. And he was offering, actually, he offered you have to have 2 different brands, one for you, one for your wife. But as long as we are a team, I'm wondering, what is your thought about it? Should we go with a team or brand ourselves separately?
Generally speaking, I would have one brand for you and your wife, with the exception is if you plan on serving different markets. So let's say your wife plans on serving investors and you plan on serving traditional owner occupants, then yes, a separate brand would be warranted. But typically husband and wife teams will have one. We've seen a lot more success if you work together and have one brand. Yeah.
One brand.
I'd say too.
Generally speaking, yeah.
Thank you, Gary.
But if Gary, if I'm putting all my, I know about investors how they are. It's usually a boys' club, and if you put in your website and all that, it's all houses, and then you mixed it with 4plexes, 6plexes. The investors state, well, they are just single family home. That's how they think. You know what I'm saying? Because if most investors that I talk to, they don't want to deal with real estate agents that are just single family. They want somebody that's just commercial.
That's correct. Well, the niche we serve is we do commercial work, but we're generally serving the small investor, flipping homes, buying duplexes, triplexes, and 4plexes. Oops, excuse me. So as far as that goes, as far as the product, you definitely want to take advantage of the team and share the team information with them. There's a lot of material we have that's designed for you to share with your clients. So it helps set you apart from other agents. We have ReallyFlow with the analysis tools that, generally speaking, most agents are not even going to be aware of. You can show them through ReallyFlow that you can identify on and off market deals. So that's how you separate yourself from the crowd, is by utilizing the team's platform, the systems, the tools, to set yourself apart from the crowd, to make sure they understand, their terminology and the methodology that they use to invest. Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll all come out more through more one-on-ones and strategic planning as you go forward.
So can we do, let's just say the 4 units, and we're going to hit that with duplex and 4plex, but what if you have somebody that you're hitting on 6-plex, 8-plex, 12-plex?
Use the same material. We have a commercial mastermind in the group that meets bi-weekly. We actually just met today. And these are agents to do more of the bigger deals, but we're using the same tools and the same systems, right? Mm-hmm. I just gave the example of, like 90% of what we do in the investment world is going to be on the 4 unit and less range. With the other 10%, I mean, we've had projects that we're working on that were, upwards of, 165 million, 800 million, several in, 20 million. We do that too, but that's not the bulk of our business. That's just part of a bigger piece,
I got it. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Gary.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
You guys have a blessed day.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, well, listen, guys, I love working with you, and I love your enthusiasm, and keep setting up those one-on-ones, and let's keep. We had our anniversary year just ended, 3-year anniversary in the last 12 months. You guys put up 345 transactions for $87 million. That's more than twice, more than double the average for agents around the country. You're just an amazing group, and let's keep the momentum going. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, right. You guys take care of yourselves. I'm going to go have some ice cream. I'm at my mom's house, so I want to go spend some time with her.
Yes, Gary. Just please remember to send me the links for your other meetings.
Yeah, I just looked in the chat box. That was Gina that mentioned it. I'm not sure what meeting that is. Does anybody, Kurt or Augustine or Mike, again, know what that is that Gina has tomorrow? It's a webinar, she said. And I'm guessing it maybe
there's a Hoodle meeting tomorrow afternoon.
Ah, do you have the link for that, Mike, that you can put in the chat box?
I don't have it, but I mean, I've communicated with Gina by Facebook before, and she sent me a link from the past.
You know what I'll do,
sure.
Valerie? I'll email you and copy Gina so you can get that link.
I think Gina put a phone number there for anybody to get information on that webinar and the Hoodle grouping info.
Oh, she did?
The phone number, and then she put Darin's phone, I believe.
I cannot see the chat box. I don't see that.
Oh, here it's okay. The number that Gina put in there looks like this must be hers.
I don't know.
747. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can write it down, Valerie, do you have a pen or a pencil?
Oh yes.
Okay. All right. 747.
747.
888.
88.
7772.
All right, 747-888-7772. It's Gina, right? GINA.
Correct. Yeah, just text her, let her know you need the code, the link for tomorrow.
All right, okay, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, I look forward to the next one, and hope you all have a wonderful night.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this episode of Monday Night Live. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and go to realestatewithgarywilson.com to join our community and start building wealth today.